Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I'm unboxing the Anker Prime 27,650 milliamp hour portable power bank. Now, this has a 250 watt total output, which is impressive to say the least, and this particular bundle includes the 100 watt charging base. This retails for roughly $235 US at the time of this unboxing. I'll include a link in the description for those of you interested in ordering one. And in full disclosure, this was furnished to me by the manufacturer for review purposes, but this is not a sponsored review. So with that said, this may still be 10 months since its launch, the best product of its kind. And that's because Anker really is the best in the business when it comes to portable charging accessories, and in many ways, a lot of different PC peripherals. They just have made a name for themselves, and their quality and reputation precedes them at this point. So what's unique about this is that the reason it's got this crazy MAH rating, the 27,650 for those of you unaware, is that is a hair under 100 watt hours. And that's exactly what it needs to maintain in order to be permissible by the TSA for air travel. Otherwise, it would not be allowed on a plane. So that is why it's got this wonky power cell rating. The 250 watt output total is really impressive. And what that means is that across its 3 ports, you're going to be able to power 3 different devices. There are 2 Type-C and 1 Type-A port. And basically, the 2 Type-C ports can do 140 watt output on each. At the same time, of course, that would total at 240. If you wanted to use all 3, the 65 watt Type-A port would, of course, deliver that. And then you'd get 140 from one of the Type-Cs and I think about 96 or is it 92, from the other. So it'll find a way to mathematically deliver all 250 watts across all 3 ports. You can prioritize with an app, which is also really cool. Anker does have a app both on iOS and Android so that you can take full control of this very much in the way that you would with an EV. That's what it reminds me of, something I will be covering on this channel soon for those of you interested in automobiles. And that's what the app reminds me of, because it'll basically tell you how much charge you'll have once you complete charging a device, all sorts of pertinent charging information, how many cycles the bank can actually deliver to said device, all sorts of, again, really interesting info. For some, not so interesting for many others, but just very cool to have that sort of control over what is otherwise just a power bank. Minimalist design, I like it. An extension from the previous 7 series version of this. And there are your ports right there. I'm going to get to the rest of the contents of the box in a second. The 2 Type-C ports that I mentioned, 140 watts each, and then that 65 watt Type-A port. Your power button on the right side of the bank. Your pogo ports for charging with the base, again, 100 watt charging capability. And if you just hardwire this to charge this, you can do up to 170 watts, which Anker claims can get this entire, again, nearly 100 watt hour battery charged in under 40 minutes. I think they quote like 36 or 37 minutes, which is bonkers. So very cool. I'm going to try to power it on right now. It does have a display for pertinent information with charging. It looks like it's totally dead. So this will be an interesting test. Let's go ahead and get out the rest of the accessories. So, as mentioned, we've got a travel case. I didn't mention that. I was going to say the cabling that we're about to see. So there's a Type-C. Get my origami going here. So our Type-C cable for charging as well as delivery of power to your device of choice. And then the dock itself. Now, this to me is a really compelling part of this package. And some people will say, hey, I'd rather get the charger on sale, sans the dock. But to me, the dock really turns it into an even more dynamic product because it gives you more ports so that you're not relying on the ports from the bank. You see you've got a Type-A port and 2 Type-C ports. And to my knowledge, they're 100 watts, but I will verify that. I do not think the dock exceeds 100 watts, either through the Pogo or these guys. I could be wrong, though. But again, this is pretty hefty, solid construction, like all of Anker's products. Going to go ahead and do the plastic peel here. And what this is going to provide is that peace of mind that this is always charged up. But then in addition to that, you now have a charging hub on your desk space, your workstation area. It's clean, it's uncluttered, and then when you're ready to travel, you just take the power bank with you. So I just like that. I think it's a smart concept. I like that they introduced it, and it should work well. I mean, that's part of what I will be testing here through the course of the review. Let's see what we have in here. This looks like it is the wall wart, so this is going to feed directly into the charging base station and give it power, so that this way it can deliver that 100-watt charge to the power bank itself. And then it looks like all we have left here, some paperwork. Let's see. So we've got our quick start guide. Looks like some safety instructions, quick start guide for the base. And then, what are these? Adhesive tape for the charging base to stabilize it in case it's got a little bit of movement, which I'm noticing it has a little bit of movement. So smart that they gave some adhesive for that, some pads, really. And that's it. That's pretty much it, folks. So let's go ahead and plug this in. I just want to see a lot of cardboard to get back into this box, but Anker, as I mentioned, I'll need to reinvent the wheel to get this all back in there, but that's what the video's for. I mean, not really at all, but you know what I'm saying. In order to see how to get this placed back in, there's just a lot of paper coming out, but Anker always does a nice job with packaging. I mean, I'm flattering them a lot because they make good products, folks. This is one of the few companies that, I don't want to say you never, every product they make is excellent, but they have a higher hit rate and than failure rate. That's to say the least. So that's why when Anker reached out, I was more than happy to work with them. I've covered a lot of their products in the past, just, from making my own personal purchases. So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab, I have a Type-C cable here that I've been using. It's only a 65-watt charger. It's from the Yoga Slim 9i that I've been covering. Let's go ahead and plug that in to one of the Power Delivery 3.1 ports. So what also excites me about anything with Power Delivery 3.1 is I'm a Asus Z13 acronym owner, so I'm always looking for the best way to power that. Presently, these sort of power bricks, at least I haven't tested this one, but all others cannot get full power delivery to the acronym because of provisioning. I'll be testing this. I doubt it will, but we'll see. And already on the readout there, you should be able to see that it's pulling 63 watts and change. So 1%, it's telling us it's going to take an hour and 40 minutes. But of course, if I change that to something with higher throughput, we're going to get a different number. So let's go ahead and plug this in to the base. Let's see what 100 watts, how that changes the onboard readout for the Anker. And this is going to be great for testing hardware too, when I want to see power draw on ultra portable tablets and power them. That's why I was mentioning, unfortunately, the provisioning for the acronym. I'm not sure that it'll work out, but generally speaking, it does otherwise. So that'll be interesting. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. I'm far from the mic. Give me a second. Plugging in, and we're going to see right now when I bring this to again the charging dock, how this changes performance. So plugged into the dock. Again, I really dig that this gives you that functionality on the side. Going to go ahead and place that down, disconnect that. Now you're not going to see the readout unless I tilt the whole dock, but it has begun. And as you can see there is a magnetic connection. And from what I'm seeing, we're getting a little under 100 watts. It's a little tough because I'm looking at my preview monitor and trying to turn my head, which doesn't turn anymore. For those of you that know, you know. I'm still recovering from major surgery. But so basically, you are getting that 100-watt power delivery. And even though it just disappeared, I'll reseat it again. It takes like 2 seconds. And it should give us the estimate. Come on. It's going down, hour and a half, hour and 9. Hour and 6. So it's going to take just a little over 1 hour with the wireless dock. And this is from a completely dead state. This battery had less than 1% on delivery. And this is not really rocking, maybe a little bit. So it's good that they included these. Again, it just shows that there's some R&D there, and that they realize that, instead of customers getting it and saying, whoa, what's going on, they have the solution. But mine is not really moving at all. There's very little play. And I'll actually have this on my glass desk workstation. So we'll see how it works. But I really dig it. And as long as the performance delivers as advertised, which with Anker is a safe bet, this is going to be something I use literally every day. I mean, whether we're talking about charging camera batteries, this is going to be ideal for travel. I would actually bring the dock as well, believe it or not, because it just extends its functionality, as I've mentioned over and over again, because these ports are independent of the actual bank. So when you're using them, they're not drawing from the 250 watts you're getting here. So you're just extending your charging capability further. So in theory, 2 laptops could be getting a charge from the Prime 27,000 milliamp hour charger, the bank. And then you could also have 2 more laptops. Granted, they'd have to be really low power, but most Ultrabooks these days are 65 watt chargers. So again, if these are 100, which I think they are, you could easily have a third laptop hooked up here, easily a tablet, easily charging phones, cameras, all of those kinds of devices. Anything with a Type-C port or Type-A port, you'll be able to adapt here and get charged up. So very cool. And the last thing I'm going to see, we've gotten only 6%. You can see the Bluetooth logo coming up for that app pairing that I was talking about. I will show that in the full review. And they're saying press twice to disable Bluetooth. I'm not going to do that. I want to just bring up the main splash screen if I can. But it looks like I'm going to have to get some more juice. But either way, very nice product from Anker. On the back, I didn't even show this. They have their, designed by Anker innovations. They've just really matured and come into their own as a manufacturer. So cool stuff. Kudos to Anker for continuing to push the envelope in the battery bank space. And like I said, really reminding me of what the EV world is about. So, which is a smart goal, especially with all of their home battery solutions. Maybe something I look into down the road, since I am trending in that direction for backup power for my home rather than natural gas. Another video for another time. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.